Well, I think it's a tough day for us. Didn't perform very well today. We knew going in, potentially it could be a tough matchup with AJ on the mound and ourselves starting a freshman, but just got off to a rough start. Nick got into trouble there in the second. I thought Jay did a good job to minimize things there and give us a couple opportunities, and just couldn't get the big hit. And really, for us over the last 3 or 4 weeks, that's kind of been the theme. We've been a little bit too giving on the mound and creating offense for our opponents, and on the other end, we hadn't been able to get many timely hits, and that's a bad formula, particularly when you're have played the schedule that we have on the back end of the season. And I think that's a big part of our team right now. I think that we've got a tired team that has really had to grind it out, and a lot of traveling here in the last month and different things. And it's not an excuse, but I believe in this team. I think that this group will regroup, and I think that we'll be very dangerous come regional time when this group is fresh.
Questions for the Alabama student athletes? Let's start on the front row here.
Mitch, I want to ask you.
No, we need to stick with the student athletes first.
All right. Georgie, just the mindset of the team right now, given the struggles, and I know you guys got one on Saturday, but what do you think the team mindset is right now?
We're obviously frustrated because it's, home state, lose a game, the first game, and we're done with the tournament. And that's not the way you want to do it, especially with a home crowd. You got an advantage. But like Coach said, I think, we're kind of mentally and physically tired right now. I think we need a few days off. And I think we're really looking forward to, postseason, getting to see where we want to go. And we got a really good chance. We got a really talented team. And, we're not worried about ourselves at all. I mean, a little work and get better on a few things, and we'll be in good shape.
Let's go to the second row center.
For the pitchers in the bullpen, what's it like when you see, first inning, second inning start to the walks pile up? What's the psychology out there?
Yeah, it's like Georgie said, it gets frustrating, but you just got to try to do your job each time you go out, and give your team a chance to win each and every time out.
Right side, Sheldon.
For both guys, when you look at what the future can hold, you talked about needing to get some rest and still some work, then what's the mindset then for these next few days? Because you still have to get some work in to get yourself ready and feeling good about yourselves.
George, you want to start?
I think, off days are, getting off your legs, but at the same time, we know what's coming ahead. We got the biggest part of the season coming in ahead of us with a regional, and that's, preparing yourself mentally and physically to get ready to play and practice. There's off day doesn't mean, there's some things you don't need to be doing on an off day. And the important part of the season that's coming up is we got to win. There's no, this is it, And I think our team, it means enough to everyone that we're going to do the right things, take the right route, and we'll be in good shape.
Jay?
Yeah, same thing. You just got to get your body rested and prepare mentally going into the regional. You play all year to get to the postseason and be your best by then. So I think, like Georgie and Coach said, the team's talented and we got the right mindset going into it. We've had our struggles, but we'll pull it together and be strong towards the end.
Why don't we start center, second row, and then we'll come back up front.
Mitch, do you have a plan for how you want to space out these? It's another week before you even know where you're playing, but how you want to handle?
Yeah, and we'll put a plan. Continue to work that plan. But quite honestly, right now, I've seen this before with certain teams, and it's evident. It's evident to me. I see it every day, and I think you go back to the Florida series for us is where it really broke down, and I think they kind of broke our will a little bit when you get swept at home, and we really haven't been the same team since that point. And I think it's my job right now and our coaching staff's job to put that plan together. And I think what we need as much as anything is we have to have energy. And right now, we have a very exhausted, tired team. And so I think we've got to space out our workouts, which we can now without having to worry about school at the present time, to where we'll get them on a good plan over the next week, and we'll build them back up. And with that, the number one key, I think, is we've got to get in the bullpen and get those guys trusting their stuff again. And same thing on the offensive end. I mean, we'll scatter, like today, we'll scatter 8 hits. That's what we've done over the last 4 weeks, but we don't put them together. And it's kind of twofold. We're walking people, but yet we very seldom walk. And again, it's continuing to educate your players on what a winning formula is, and at the same time what a losing formula is. And we've had a losing formula over the last 3 or 4 weeks, and they've got to understand our message of what it takes to win, and it's really about competing in all the areas, but also having attention to detail of what it takes to win baseball games. Because, as I said earlier, this is a very talented team. It doesn't appear that right now, but we can get this group back together. And you're talking about 3 games in a regional, and you've got 2 dynamite starters in Turnbull and Champlain, and it comes down offensively. We've got to be able to score runs. I mean, we've been putting up 1, 2, and 0, every time we see a good arm. And that's the area, to me, that's been a pretty good theme for a while, that we have to get the hitters and the offense to understand what it is we have to do. And it's really about, shortening down our swings a little bit, fighting a little harder with 2 strikes to create those opportunities that you need offensively.